This is gonna be a weird one, because to talk about Old Gods of Appalachia, I need to talk about its two contexts, the Cipher system and Old Gods of Appalachia. The Old Gods of Appalachia came out in 2023 after a successful Kickstarter from Monte Cook Games, primarily written by Shauna Germain of Monte Cook and Cam Collins of the podcast Thing, because Old Gods of Appalachia is an audio drama podcast that's been running since 2019 with 4 whole seasons for you to listen to. But let's start with the actual important part. The game. The Cipher system is a pretty odd system, to say the least. There are a handful of games that use it, the most well-known being Numenera, of course, but Rust and Redemption, Invisible Sun, and Claim the Sky all use the system in some variety. But let's do a quick rundown. At its absolute basic, it is a D20 system with each having a task difficulty rated from 1 to 10, determining how complicated anything is. So a task of 3 would be rolling a 9 or higher on a D20. Everything so far, the main thing with Cipher is doing various things to reduce the difficulty down, rather than adding a +3 or +4. Almost everything you do is about modifying, i.e. reducing, that task number, as everything is that task number. Getting attacked by a rabid rabbit, task 2. Attacking said rabbit with a baseball bat, task 3. The GM will actually never roll in most circumstances. Of course, you can get specials which affect your roll, which usually boil down to a short list of options for you to choose from, but combat is really central to a lot of the mechanics of the game, and there are... Okay, you know what? Let's get off this track. Let's talk characters, as that's the draw of these. Each character is composed of 3 pools, might, speed, and intellect, and these are not your attributes, but instead your inner reserves of go juice that you can down to Popeye the Sailor your way out of problems. Remember, reduce rather than add. Most things in the game require you to reduce these attributes down somehow. If you get shot, you reduce your might pool. You get tired, reduce speed, solve a riddle, intellect go down, yes now please. This is how damage is actually calculated. Should you lose one of your pools entirely, you start getting more hurt, and the death spiral goes horribly wrong from there. But you can offset costs by building edge, which is usually going to be 1 in 1 stat, but this applies to effort as well. Reduction. The effort score means that you can burn 3 of your pool and you can reduce it down, which your edge can also be applied to this way as well. You can reduce your effort reduces the task difficulty, but edge reduces the effort needed to reduce the task difficulty. Complicated? It's really not. Just explaining it by having to throw a fucking book at you. You also have skills. Write the skills in. That's it, really. From there you have tiers, which are levels, but not levels, by using your meta experience to build it up. But you should and shouldn't also build your level up. But let's focus on what a character actually is, your descriptor, type, and focus. These determine who you are and your abilities. I am a charming protector who does what needs doing is going to be a lot different from a graceful protector who hunts or a charming sage who does what needs doing. Your type is your class, which grants a majority of your abilities. Easy enough, actually, but there are quite a few of these that you're going to have to pick and choose from, some of which are not built equal. But your descriptor is your initial set of abilities and problems, or benefits and benefits, because these are also not built equal at all, or are seemingly arbitrary at times, such as being driven, hindering your ability to see things. Finally, your focus is your cool power that lets you do things, or you choose the right option that gives you a lot of bonuses that are universally handy. It's strange to say, but there are correct options and wrong options when creating a character. Monte Cook may have left the ivory tower, but it never really left him. Oh, yeah, ciphers. You know, the cipher system, they are one-shot powers that you use to do things. In Numenera, they were special gizmos that usually did damage or changed the environment. Invisible Sun were weird magic items, and The Strange was a game that existed and no one actually remembers. These have tiers and levels and abilities sometimes, or sometimes they just exist for reasons. Of course, I could mention GM or player intrusions to grant or burn XP to perform specific feats and abilities, but you didn't click on this video for all of this shit, did you? No, you want Old Gods of Appalachia. And this is where things get a little complicated. Old Gods of Appalachia is effectively a down-to-earth horror setting that stretches from 1700s to 1993, about weird happenings in a weird world of country roads. Take me home to the place I belong, and other weirdness. Do you know that what it doesn't involve? Fist fighting fucking Cthulhu or shooting a boglin with a shotgun. Most of the descriptors, types, and foci feel really specific and both horribly out of place. Like they realized halfway through they were writing a cipher system game for this game and slapped some stuff on it to make it work, which it really doesn't. Doesn't help that it doesn't really particularly explain what's going on. Though maybe I should have watched all 4 seasons of the podcast first, and don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon. Feels like you're getting part of a really big picture and it just says, haha, spooky shit inbound, and then throws the fact that a fucking hand grenade is easier to get a hold of than a handgun in Appalachia. Even the ciphers feel pretty out of place. Everything is such little vid magic that a small jar of water and sand from a nearby creek that was buried for 7 days and 7 nights may be cryptic to some, but then it has an exact use, function, ability, and crafting rules. This entire setting feels like it's in the wrong game. It feels like it wants to be something a lot lighter and less focused on combat or granularity, rather that creeping dread of a horrible situation. But here's the thing. Do you like Old Gods of Appalachia? The podcast, of course. If you do, then you've already bought this game and will enjoy it. It's everything you already know and fairly easy to understand package, allowing you to actually ignore 90% of the rules, it feels like, because you already know what you're doing and what stories to tell in it. For the rest of us, it doesn't really inspire to engage with the source material, Patreon exclusives notwithstanding. Cipher system is fine, if not my exact wheelhouse because of Numenera, but this is not the right fit for it for a variety of reasons. My name is Notepad Add-on, and this was Old Gods of Appalachia, the role-playing game. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Many thanks to the denizens of the Ivory Tower for their continued support. Godspeed, good luck, and evil dies tonight.